This video is on the technical analysis of NEO USD, and at this point in time we're on the daily chart. And in regards to the daily chart, we can see that we are indeed in a downward trending market or a downward trajectory. And another thing that is also very much important that we had seen in the past is that we had this double top over here, which had a neckline at that level, and we saw price break into the bottom side of the neckline, heading back to the neckline to give it a test. And at this point over here is where we should be looking for those potential selling opportunities, right? So I'm just going to add or rather utilize the Fibonacci Retracement tool, and let's have a look to see if that neckline actually aligns with any key numbers that we have in as far as Fibonacci goes, right? And here we go, more or less. And guys, we can see that the neckline, which is over here of this double top, actually aligns, we could say, with the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. And in my humble opinion, that is confluence in as far as looking for potential selling opportunities goes at this point, right? So we should have looked for potential selling opportunities actually at this point. And in my humble opinion, I believe that our first take profit should be around this level over here. Why do I say that level? That is because we also have an opposing structure in the form of an overextended W structure, and it is an overextended W structure because that first leg is much lower than that second leg, right? And we actually saw the market closing above the neckline of this structure over here, coming back to the neckline to give it a test. And at that point is actually where we should have looked for those potential buying opportunities, especially if that neckline actually aligns with any key numbers that we have on the Fibonacci retracement tool, right? And also this M structure over here has actually played itself out because it actually started at this point and it ended more or less in line with where it started, right? And I said to you guys that at this level over here is where we should have looked for those potential selling opportunities. Why do I say so? Number one, the level is the neckline of the M structure. Number two, the neckline also aligns with the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. And number three, not only is this neckline, or rather this area, the neckline of this M structure, it's also a very strong level of resistance at this point in time, as we've had multiple rejections in and around that level. And it actually explains or motivates for why I believe at this point we should indeed be looking for those potential selling opportunities. And I said to you guys that our first take profit should be at this level over here, right? And that's because, as I said, we have this opposing structure, which is a W structure, which also has a neckline at that point. And where we have that neckline, we actually have a very strong level of support at this point in time, right? So let's just zoom in a bit. Another thing that I also want to point out is that, remember guys, we're in a downward trending market, and chances are we're going to see the market actually move further down, right, to around this level. Why do I say so? That is because we have this W structure. Remember, what normally happens when it comes to these W structures is that a lot of traders and investors usually buy on that second leg of that W structure, and they place their stop losses just below. So we could say at this point in time that we have a lot of stop losses in and around this area, and it is quite possible that in the future the market may head down to grab all of those stop losses because they are liquidity, and liquidity is actually money that needs to be triggered by the market at one point or another, right? Another thing that I also want to point out is that as much as we have this neckline over here, which is also a very strong level of support, we also have this level over here, guys, and it's also a strong level of support at this point in time. And we may potentially also see price come back to this level to give it a test, only to move further up again to where we have the neckline of this double top.